Welcome to Ivers University Fair 2021. Before we start this event, let's all bow down our heads and pray so that this event can run well. Dear God, thank you for our blessings. Now we want to start our Ivers University Fair. Please bless us so that everything can run well. In Jesus' name we pray, Amen. Hi everyone! Good afternoon to all participants present today. Wow, I'm so happy to see all of our alumni and participants at this event. Welcome to the Ivers 2021 University Fair event. Well, first, I want to say a huge thank you to all the participants who attended today. This has been a long awaited event. Do you guys know why? The university fair is filled by people from various universities every single year who are ready to share information and knowledge you need for your future college applications. Wow, for those four of you who are here, it means that everyone is already preparing for the future, aren't you? Last year, when IPECA held the university fair, there were a lot of students who were greatly helped by the advice given. None of the students regretted their choice of university nor major. Well, hi everyone. My name is Dior from IICS and I will become today's host. In this event, we are accompanied by 24 alumni that graduated from different IPECAs who are willing to share their knowledge and experience to you all. They all have different backgrounds and stories, and they all went to amazing and prestigious universities. Thank you to all the Coco and Chichi for taking your time out of your busy schedule to help these students. Before we start, I would like to say a huge thank you to all the organizers who have helped us make this event happen. Let's all say thank you. Well, let's welcome our alumni today. Welcome, Kodio.
Semuanya.
Hi, Ko. Before we start, can you introduce yourself? Which IPECA did you come from? What year you graduated? And what was your favorite memory of IPECA?
Sure. First of all, my name is Dio. I graduated from IICS in 2012, so it's a while back. My favorite memory of IICS is it's not of a memory, but more of a really interesting event, I would say. And I hope the one who I'm telling this story to is watching this event, but it's Miss Hedi Puspasari. So basically what happened is waktu itu Miss Hedi suka kasih pop quiz in the early of the classes, and I failed miserably. I'm not the smartest person in my class, and I usually get maybe 50 or 60 at most for the pop quiz out of 100. But then I remembered really clearly on that day that I given the pop quiz, I asked Miss Hedi to give me a remat. Basically, asked her if I could retry the pop quiz again. And I remember she gave me another chance for it. And then I took it in front of the health clinic. I don't remember the exact name of it, but it's on the besides the canteen. I took it and I actually did really well. From that onwards, I really have hopes in math, and I have really confidence that if I learn a lot, then I could achieve whatever, or basically solve the challenge. So yeah, that's a really, I guess, fun but sad and happy memory.
Well, that's funny because it can be relatable to me too because I'm actually with Miss Hedi right now for math.
Oh yeah,
And then some of her
Miss Hedi.
subjects can be pretty difficult.
Yeah, and Miss Hedi.
Do you have any slides or pictures you want to show, or do you prefer a Q&A session?
I don't have any decks, but I can do Q&A session.
Okay, so for anyone who want to ask questions, you can just scan the QR code. Don't be shy. Kodio is really nice. So
Yeah.
let's start with one of the first most important questions.
Yes.
What is something you wish you knew before going to university?
Oh, I'm not this again. I really try to repeat this again. I'm not the smartest person in my batch, so I don't really prepare anything before I go. I went to college, but I really wish that I knew what would be my job in the future. Jadi, if I knew what would my job look like, then I could prepare better for my college, or even in my high school. So I guess uh, knowing the future, but I think that is not possible. But I guess preparing, planning, where you should go research about all the college or I guess the rankings, the community college, the transfer, the cost, everything. I think that is really useful when you want to go to college or when you want to choose your college in the future.
I definitely need to know that too, since throughout my junior high and senior high, I've actually changed my passion so many times. Sometimes I want to
Yeah.
be a teacher, sometimes I want to be a doctor. It's so confusing. And I don't even know what to prepare with science, math, and sometimes actually knowing what you want to do in life really can help you prepare,
Mhm.
isn't it?
Right, right.
So during your high school times, did you always want to go for a computer science degree or did you think of something else as a goal?
Yeah, this is a good question, but I was a really nerd person back in the days, back in high school. So every computer question, every tech related question would go for me. So that what that means is I do really have a passion for computer, but I didn't know whether that is the exact major that I want to go for college. But I do really remember one day in a computer class, I knew this topic really good, but my friend didn't really um, kayak nggak bisa kerjaan program ini. But and then they asked me for questions, and I could explain it really better. I could explain it to them, and they actually did well on that computer programming questions. So when that happened, I realized that I do really have, I guess, not a talent, but I do have this passion of helping people in this tech world. And tech world isn't really a straightforward topic. I know that maybe it's hard for you to, or like for anyone to figure out like a programming question or tech related question, or whether that's a mobile phone repair or something else. So I do really have a passion on it, and I do really enjoy solving problem solving. So I guess that's why I choose computer science.
It's actually funny because I'm actually kind of tech. It's very hard for me to
Yep.
understand technology and everything. So actually, it's pretty cool that you know how to do all these technology stuff since it's pretty difficult. Like,
Right.
especially computer science, it's known to be a difficult major, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, well, it depends. It depends. It depends where you say it. But for people who likes to code, who likes to tinker with stuff, who likes to basically analyze things on a different perspective, who likes to see things, how things work, I think it's a good major per se, because you research on things, you research on how things work, and then you kind of, oh, and you kind of have that aha moment, and that what satisfies me the most in this, I guess, this major. I mean, you have a lot of challenge, but the answer is everywhere. The answer is on the internet. So once you find it, it gives you like a really good feeling.
So you really like the satisfaction after solving something.
Yep, yep. Especially when that's a really hard question. I guess that's rooted me from Miss Eddie again, like the algebra questions.
Yeah, to all the math teachers, we're trying. You said that you actually really like helping your friends learning
Yep.
technology. Do you
Mhm.
ever think about being a teacher before in computer science?
I Well, I never thought myself being a teacher, but I do really hope that I could be useful. Like when this session happened, I really got really excited because I really want to help people. Because I'm not excited to help people. Sorry, I'm not excited to teach people, but I am always down to help people to excel in the future, in their future. So yeah, this event or whatever event, and whenever someone reach out to me, especially on a programming question or I guess career questions, then I can talk a lot on that.
So one day, if I decide to go to computer science, I can ask some help.
Yes. Shoot me an email.
Okay, sure. So, what do you think is the best thing about being in university? Like an experience or a feeling you can only
Yeah.
get in university and not anywhere else?
Yeah. So I mean, let's go back a little bit. I went for a community college first, and then transferred to UIUC, like a 4-year college university. And the difference is a lot between community college, high school, and high school, community college, and like 4-year university college. But especially talking about university, I think the experience is the community. Um, you are surrounded by people who share the same passion as you. So you kind of have like these people that teaches you, and you kind of also have the opportunity to teach them. And on top of that, networking is, I guess, is the most important thing, because that could land you a job in the future. You don't know whether your friend gonna be working on like this company or Google, Facebook, or Netflix, or whatever like the big company tech names is. But down the road, you could always reach out to them, since you went to the same college, or you went to the same class even. So networking, like passionate people, and then I guess really good professor, classes, and cross program.
Do you think that university is very different from high school, or is it like similar? Since it's
Mm-hmm.
not that far from each other, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a difference.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. So I guess in high school you kind of have this teacher. Like, I guess I will take another example from Miss Heidi again. But if you have questions, for example, you could reach out to Miss Heidi, um, mm, or any other math teacher. But in university, you don't really have access to that. You only have office hours, which is like basically a scheduled time that you could ask your teaching assistant, which is not exactly your professor or like teacher, but just, I guess, like a senior students that are working for the professor. So I guess my point is, um, there isn't much help. So I guess it means that it could be harder, but from my perspective, that is a challenge that you need to overcome with, so you are become independent.
Yeah, I think it's the most important thing. Like parents always be like, go to university, you'll get independent, you don't have to do things
Yeah.
yourself. And I
Yep.
think that for me, it's very terrifying since I rely on my parents a lot.
Yeah.
Most of the things, studies, my food, my drinks, everything, I rely on my parents. And I just can't imagine a phase in my life where I have to do everything by myself. And there might, it's kind of difficult. But was it a hard transition for you, moving from high
Um.
school to living
Yeah.
alone?
Yeah. I think, yes, it is a hard transition, but it could be a faster transition when you have, I guess, your high school friends went to the same college as you. So it's not as bad, but on my batch, I think, I guess, more than 10, or like about 15 of my friends went to the same community college as me. So we still have the same group of friends, but we're living in the US. We don't have like parents that are watching us again. We're living alone, but we do have the same circle of friends. But I could imagine if I don't really have that, the same group of friends that I have in high school, when I moved to the US, then I think there might be like a difficult transition, or maybe like a longer transition.
Makes sense. It's actually very helpful if you're with your friends since you feel
Yep.
comfortable and are not alone.
Right.
So there's a question from Michelle from BSD. She asked, have you ever wondered taking another major instead of computer science? Something like data science, since you also like it's related to technology, but do you ever
Right.
consider of taking it before?
Yeah, I think a lot of my friends here, I guess my the same high school friends that I went with, actually took like a master of data science. So similar concepts, but the same core principles of computer science. Um, I think I could recommend you to take computer science at first, because whether that's like data science, machine learning, AR, VR, all that topics have the same core principles, which is computer science. So, and then you when you have computer science degree in your CV or resume, I think that will open up for more job opportunities in the future, in the long run, actually. But when you already landed the job and then you kind of focus on one thing, then maybe you could transfer to data science or AR or machine learning topics, and then you could branch out from there.
True. Like when I see someone with a degree in computer science or math, it's just imagining that, oh, that person is very smart, since it's very
Yeah,
difficult actually.
yeah. I
So it's
mean,
beneficial for job
it.
applications, right?
Yep. It definitely helps a lot in my job hunt process. And it also helps going to, I guess, an accredited college, which has, like, I guess, like a higher rank of computer science programs.
Okay, so what do you learn in computer science? I'm a bit interested since computer science is people directly focus on programming and
Yeah.
coding. Is there anything
Yeah.
else you learn from that, or do you focus on that?
Um, I mean, you're not wrong, but I think the most that I learned in college is basically problem solving. You are constantly being challenged with the topic you are not familiar with, whether that be like fixing computer or having this weird code, and then you need to fix it, and then you kind of have to research on that topic. You kind of research on what is the best or like the appropriate algorithm um, uh, method to apply to these questions. So in computer science, it's mostly problem solving and research, like Google, Stack Overflow. And then what else? Trial and error. It's You don't know whether your hypothesis works when you don't try it. So you need to always try it, working all night long, trying your code, whether that gets accepted in the answer or not. So yeah, long hours, research, and I guess problem solving.
Yeah, I've actually seen a lot of videos before on YouTube where programmers did like a different codes to do a certain task, and then
Yeah,
when someone was like, "What is that code supposed to do?" and they're like, "I don't know, it just works."
yeah, it does work. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, it also applies to my job too. Sometimes I write code and then yeah, it works. Okay, let's push it.
Since you've actually got a job
Yeah.
and you've passed through all that experience of finding jobs and everything, what do you do after you graduate with a computer science degree?
Um, what do I do for my job hunting process, or what do I do for my
Like,
job?
I think what type of jobs you can do with a computer science
Okay,
degree?
got it. Um, a lot, actually, a lot. I mean, I think what Michelle said, you could go to the data science route, since it involves like data analysis, which is basically the same thing. You write code which takes in a bunch of data, and you basically produce an output of a meaningful analysis or like answer to your question. You could go to software engineering. Basically, you could make a software. You could basically maybe have, and under that software engineer, you could be like a front end, back end infrastructure. You could basically have a new UI for Netflix, or think about how Netflix serves the content, like all those terabytes of movies, how that gets delivered in minutes or in seconds or in milliseconds to your mobile apps. You could do machine learning, which involves like a lot of math, a lot of statistical methods. So there are a lot of things that you could do with computer science, but the easiest thing to do with computer science degree is go to the software engineering route. From there, once you landed in a company, you could basically explore what other opportunities or roles um, outside. So basically, you land a job and then basically try out new stuff from there.
Oh, I see. Based on your experience during your studies as a computer
Yep.
science student, How time consuming or challenging is computer science?
Oh yeah, it's definitely very time challenging. um, it's very time challenging. Yes. I could stay out till maybe 2, 3, and barely have. I don't really have any weekends for some semester. Um, it's it's really challenging, but it's kind of worth it. I think. But one thing that I would suggest is find a friend, find a group of friends that have the same passion as you, or better if you have the same courses. So when you spend the night together in labs, you don't really feel lonely. So you just take it fun as like a really fun programming course.
Yeah, I think like finding the right circle can actually really improve your scores too.
Yep. And it kind of have helps too when you don't when you're stuck. You kind of have ask your friend to get the answer.
Actually, I see a lot of people very interested in computer science. So here's
Yep.
another question from Jessica from IPK Tomang. Can someone who doesn't have any knowledge in computer science get into this degree? How do you know that computer science is right for you?
Oh yeah, good question. Um, I always say that computer science can be learned by everyone. I think being like having like computer science serve in many form right now. Like computer science courses being served in any form right now, like whether it is Coursera, Udacity, or any other college that have online courses. It's really easy to learn computer science online right now, whether you're still in high school or not. Even with me or like my colleagues in workplace, we are still learning, constantly learning stuff from these online courses. So it is not hard to pick up computer science, I would say. At least the basic principles of it. And I guess the later part of the question, how do I know comp sci is the right major for me? Think about this. If you are given a challenge or like a question, if you are fine doing it all day long, all night long, figuring out the right code, the right solution for it, then I think computer science is the right major for you.
Makes
I
sense.
think that also
Yeah,
applies to any major actually.
yeah.
If you what you're doing, then you don't feel like you're working. So I guess that's the key.
I think like even with any the most difficult major, if you like it, it just seems very easy.
Yep.
But even the
Yeah.
easiest majors, if you don't like it, it's just very difficult all of a sudden.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, I think don't go for computer science if you don't if you just for the sake of it. If you love computer science, then you go for computer science. And that also applies to any
There's,
major.
hmm. There's also a similar question from Nicole from IPK Fluid. When
Yeah.
you took this major, did you know the basics on how to code or program?
Um Yeah, well, not a lot, really basic. I remember Sardeni, Sir Manik, who else? Sir Marcelo. Uh, but I knew how to code from, I guess, junior high school or senior high school, but really, really basic, like Pascal or C++, really basic stuff. But when you went to community college or college, then you are given like a different set of challenges, different set of questions, different set of requirements, then kind of have started to think about, oh, how do I make this? How do I make this with this language? How do I make this with this framework, this library? And then so you kind of grow from there. Um, so short answer, a little bit, long answer, yeah, you could learn as you go.
I think that applies for anything. You just
Yep.
learn as you go.
Yep,
But
learn
I'm
as you
pretty
go.
sure Sir Manik, Sir Denny, and Sir Marcel are very proud of you since they're like, oh, you brought my legacy. And there's also a question from Josephine from
Yeah.
Ipeka Fluid. She said that she's interested in both computer science and informational technology. Is there a huge difference between the both majors since both are learning about programming?
Yeah. So I think there's a different connotation between information technology in the States, in the United States, and in Indonesia. Um, and if I'm not wrong, information technology in the States is kind of not related directly to programming, but it is more related to the higher level of programming. So, for example, um, if you're in a big company and you want to introduce a new software, how would you go implement that? So you want to make maybe an automation. How would let me take a step back. You would have an implementation details of how did the employees learn about the new software, rather than compared to software engineer or the computer science, it is more writing the software itself. So in short, information technology is, I believe, is a higher level of computer science.
I can't imagine something else more difficult than computer science.
Yeah.
Since something so simple as using Adobe Illustrator is
Oh
difficult
yeah,
enough for
yeah. Program is
there
fun.
was one time in junior high where I was with Sir Marcelo and Sir Echo, and then we had to use Adobe Illustrator for our homework. I
Yeah.
was so confused. It was so confusing for me. I don't think computer science can ever be for me.
Yeah, actually, I remember. I think I used Adobe. Maybe it's not called Adobe back then, but it's called Micromedia Flash. Basically, it's a program where you create an animation for it. I think that's the first program that I loved, and basically told me that I love this computer science or love technology.
That's really nice knowing what you want to do and what you love.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that I knew what I want to do early. I think I knew that around junior high, at 8 or 9, grade 9.
That's actually really good, really helpful.
Yeah.
Relating
Uh,
back to your personal and past experience, what
yeah.
is something you truly miss from high school? An experience you can only get in high school.
Oh, I think that community in high school. When you are in a batch in high school, you basically knew everyone. Um, and when in compared to in uni or college, you don't know everyone in your class. You kind of have like this. You only knew like maybe like a small group of friends, or you only knew like your Indonesian friends. Uh, but in high school, I think that community, even with your teacher too, right? With your home, with your like guru yang ada di kelas. Yeah, homeroom. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, with your homeroom. So they kind of have like this community. I really miss that back in college.
Yeah, my sister actually said that, especially in big universities, it's very difficult to find friends since everyone is
Mhm.
so busy with their lives and
Yeah,
it's just more difficult.
yeah. Everyone is independent in here.
Hmm.
In
I'm pretty sure that most of the people watching us today is people from high school since they're
yeah.
really eager to know about universities and everything. What do you think is the hardest part of applying to university or community college?
Oh, community college should be easy. You don't really need to worry about anything as long as you have your TOEFL grade above average, then you're good to go. But I think when you're applying for university directly, I guess yeah, university directly from high school, I think you need to have like I think I'm not sure what is the grading criteria right now, but back then it used to be SAT score. Um, I guess you need to have your grades really high. But when transferring from community college to college, um, the hardest part for me is writing the essays because you need to tailor your essays for every college that you apply with because every college has different um, questions, and you kind of have need to tailor your essays, your explanations to what I guess the history or the background of that college itself. And it's expensive. It's really expensive to apply college. So yeah, that's the hardest
Yeah,
part too.
actually, like the one I'm mostly worried about for my college application is definitely the standardized exams
Oh
and the
yeah.
essays. And
Yep.
the essays, it's something very mesmerizing for me since I'm so mesmerized with people who can actually fit their whole life experience or
Mhm.
their whole person into just a piece of paper. I'm like, how
Yep.
does that even work?
Yep.
Like, I had a consultation before with the university admission officer, and she said that it only takes us 5 seconds to like, whether it let you in or not. And I was like,
Yeah.
how am I supposed to show myself in 5 seconds in a paper?
Right.
And what is there any like advice from you about standardized tests or writing essays, anything like that?
Yeah, you actually brought up a good point. You also need to think about what special events that happen in your life and made you want to do this, or want to do this major, or wanted to apply to this college, or how this college would help you achieve your dream in the future. Um, yeah. Um, Sorry, I forgot the question. What you're asking?
Advice on standardized exams and
Oh yeah,
essays.
essays. I think one thing to remember is don't ever be discouraged because um, you are applying for that major for a reason. So you must have a reason to apply. So you write that reason in a really good format, in a really good story. Once you write that, I think you're good. For me, I think for computer science, for me, I think I wrote about my passion about helping people and how back then, like 10 years ago, yeah, when like Gojek and Shopee hasn't even existed yet, I wanted to help people in Indonesia or maybe in my community to have better exposure to technology.
Yeah, since back then technology wasn't a huge thing in Indonesia. It was especially in the smaller areas. I think that it's very hard for technology to reach there. So that's a really
Yeah,
good thing you should write about.
yeah, yeah.
There's also a question from Caroline from the SD. Can you aim for a full scholarship for an undergraduate degree?
Full scholarship. Yes, you definitely can. I'm not. I don't receive any scholarship, so I couldn't really talk about the process applying it. But I know that the government scholarship program, which is called LPDP, is something that you need to research about. I think some of my friends uses that route, the LPDP route, and went for master, whether that be on an MBA or Master of Accounting or whatever that may be. So
If I'm not
definitely,
mistaken, the LPDP needs to take their undergraduate degree in Indonesia. Am I right?
I'm not sure, but maybe you knew better than me.
Yeah, since actually I've read a lot about LPDP, and then some people were I read that you actually need to be in an undergraduate degree in Indonesia,
Got
so
it.
they get to choose you to go to masters outside.
Got
And
it.
I think that you need to be very smart.
I missed the last part of it. Sorry.
It's okay. I'm just saying that, and I think in order for you to get picked to go to masters outside, you need to be really, really smart.
I see. Yeah, I think yeah. Aside from LPDP, which is I guess the government route, I think from if you're already here in the U.S., maybe whether it be like a community college, when you have a strong background of what you want to do, and apply for, I guess, like college that have some programs of scholarship, then you might be able to get it. So if you really have like a strong background, strong academic, then you definitely have a chance of getting scholarships in here.
I think that even though you don't think you have a chance, I think it's very nice if you try to apply since you never know if you can get it or
Yeah,
not.
yeah, definitely
Like,
apply for it.
uh
Nothing
huh.
to lose. Yeah,
There's also another question, but it's anonymous, sadly. What are the things we should do during high school to prepare for university? And what do you think made you stand out when you're applying to university?
Yep, it's a good question. Uh, I hope this is specifically for CS major, but I think this could apply for any other major. But for CS major, I would recommend you to start building your portfolio early. So whether that may be building your website or maybe have like a small software of Python or data analysis software that could help you in the long run. Or if any other major, if you have interested in arts, maybe you could write a music, draw something, build your portfolio early in the day. So when you are in college or in community college, you are basically ahead of the game. You already have some experience in building some stuff that you're interested in or related to your major.
So basically saying that universities need to see that you've actually tried to be in that major before.
Yeah, actually, you basically have some backgrounds in that major. Um, for me, I really missed that opportunity because in community college, I don't really have that mindset yet. In community college, my mindset was I need to do my best to transfer out of this community college to be in a 4 year college. But I think I was wrong. I should have basically built my portfolio in community college. Basically, in your first year since you graduate in high school, you need to start early because during your, I guess, freshman, senior or sophomore year, when you're job hunting, you need to have something in your resume. If you don't have something in your resume, then there's no employer to hire you.
Yeah, true. Basically building up what will be impressive for other people to see.
Yes, that is correct. Yep, that will
See,
help you a
Sir
lot.
Lenny said, I am proud of you, Dio.
Is there any?
Okay, so there's actually, I'm very interested and curious. When you were in high school, what were
Mhm.
your goals? And does it match with your current major? I'm pretty sure you said that before just now.
My goals in my high school. Um, I I don't really have a big goal in back in high school. I just want to basically pass out. I basically have passed my HSC test, and that's about it. As long as I could graduate from high school on the year 12, then I'm good. Uh, so I don't really have any big goal in high school, but I do have I do really make sure that any programming courses that I attend in high school, I did really well. So yeah, and then
Mm,
I think that I guess translates to what major that I chose.
yeah, I think that you just follow the flow. You just do your life, and it will
Yeah,
just take you nowhere.
yeah. Do your research, do with the flow, and then I think you're good. Don't stress too much.
Yeah, and there's also someone that's very interested in computer science too.
Yeah,
It's from Jessica from IPK Tomang. She
yeah.
asked, there are a lot of universities that have computer science as their program. How do you know which unit suits you? Why did you choose University of Illinois?
Um, it's okay. That's a good question. I guess I could answer it in a funny way. You do have a lot of better schools than University of Illinois, but go check out the rankings in I guess in U.S. World News. Something's on the website, on the accredited website, where you can check um, the ranking of college based on your major, and you could use that as your guidelines. But I applied to Berkeley, but I didn't get accepted to Berkeley, so I chose University of Illinois as my next best option. And again, um, think about your group of friends. If you have some Indonesians that go with that's basically go with you with into the same course, I think that will help you in the transition process again.
There's also another person who's actually very interested in computer science too, from Michelle from
Yeah.
IPK. She said she's currently considering computer science and data science. One thing that she notices from computer science majors is that they aim to work for other people. Am I mistaken, or is it true that most computer science graduates ended up competing for employment? Because that's not what she's looking for.
Yep. Really good question. I like this. Yes and no. So I think in the US in the United States, I think it's really easy to find a job if you're a computer science major because there are a lot of opportunities out there. I mean, a lot of software tech companies in here. So you could, as long as you could do some coding, you could get hired here. But while you do land your first job, as you learn, as you work in a startup, as you build your, I guess, your first software or you write your first code, I think that also opens up the opportunity to make a business out of software. So I guess that's why you have this unicorns in Indonesia: Gojek, Shopee, Blippi, Tokped. Basically, that kind of um, software engineers that turn into an entrepreneur because you have the capability of building the next software or the big app, but you need to learn how to make business out of it, and that's something that I need to learn as well. But no, definitely not. So you're not aiming to work for other people for computer science. You could definitely have an entrepreneur mindset while in computer science.
I find it very fascinating that computer science people actually work in like a whole another dimension in my head. They're just staring into the screen where everything just happens with only their typing, and I think that's very fascinating when you get the hang of it and you're able to study it actually.
Yeah, it's for some people, computer science is considered to be like a nerdy subject. You kind of basically read this book, this software book, or there's this article about the new tech library. But I do realize that it is also important for you or like any other students here that are interested in computer science to explore other opportunities outside computer science, whether that be business, accounting, finance. I think anything combined with computer science, I think that will make something.
Since there are a lot of people who's interested in computer science in this event, what are the joys and sorrows in this department?
A lot of sleepless night, uh, a lot of stress, but I think it's a good stress because kind of l- deep dive into the topics that you are not familiar with before, and then kind of learn about it growing up. So there are pros and cons. Pros is, I guess, you are able to make an impact through software, through something that you're passionate about. The cons is, yeah, sleepless night, sometimes long work hours. But yeah, definitely an interesting work-life balance.
But if you could go back into time and rewind back to your high school times,
Yeah,
would you still pick computer science or would you change majors?
no, I think I wouldn't change major because maybe that's computer science probably the only thing that I could do. But yeah, no. Yeah, I think computer science is really an easy choice for me because I do really have passion on it. So I don't really explore any other opportunities during high school. But now that I'm already like basically deep down in computer science industry, I do wish that maybe I need to be exposed a little bit to business or finance.
Did you take a minor or did you just what minor did you take during university?
I do have not a double major, but I guess like a sister topics. But I do statistics and computer science, a little bit of math.
Both very difficult topics
Yeah,
combined into one.
yeah. Definitely don't take that.
Well, there's a personalized question from Michael from IPK Palembang. Is there any kind of organization or club that you join as a student majoring in computer science?
Yeah. I would assume this is a question when I was in college or a community college. But yes, you need to join a club, whether that be or any event. So back then, I joined like a this computer science club where you help, I guess, teacher or other students help make like a little software to help out some other things. Or you could join hackathon, which is I guess really easy because you just have like 24 out of 48 hours and you need to build anything you want. Or you could involve in like tech library speakers or um, conference, a lot of things. But yeah, I do recommend joining them.
Okay, so last but not least, one more question before we end the session. Are there any myths or facts about your major? Like one of the myths could be it's very difficult and
Yeah.
it's very hard to get into, something like that. Are there any more?
um I think that's probably the only myth that I've heard of. But no, it is not hard. So for those of you who are interested in computer science, try it. Try coding. Try getting some online courses and see whether you like it or not. I think it's a good major or topic since you could basically solve anything you want through software. And since we're living in the software world right now, I think it's a good skill to have. Or maybe if you choose another major, still basic programming or basic software knowledge is a must, I think, during these days.
Okay, since we're about to end in 2 minutes, thank you so much, Kodio, for
Yeah.
today. Even I learned so much just by listening to you for 40 minutes. I learned so much information. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Faith. And thank you, everyone who listened to this session. I really appreciate it. And I would really recommend you to reach me out if you have any questions, especially on CS. I don't know how should I share my email, but um, I guess Miss Yuli or Miss Muti can share my email or my WhatsApp.
That's really great. I'm sure a lot of people will be like, Kodio, how do I do this?
Yeah. Show me an email. I really want to help you out. Don't be afraid.
Okay. Okay, so that it is for today's session. I hope that everyone had a good time and was enjoying each question and answer moments. Since there are no more questions. Thank you, everyone, and I hope that you all have a good day. So let's first end with a prayer. Dear God, thank you for your blessings. We just completed our session with Kodio about computer science. I hope that everyone is has a benefit from joining this event, and everyone knew knowledge and gained knowledge from Kodio. In Jesus' name, we pray. Amen. Thank you, everyone. I hope that you all have a good day. Thank you, Kodio. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
See
Thank
you
you,
next
everyone.
time.
Thank you, Faye.